Materiality is something that I've been exploring for a really long time in paint. I think ultimately the material is a vehicle for that artistic expressions. Weaving is almost like a computer, and the computer itself being almost an early prototype of what weaving is. And I wanted to explore pixels in a very physical approach. My name is Rob Davidovitz. I am a Toronto-based artist. I primarily work in painting, but I also hand weave as well in my practice. I primarily focused on photography when I was in school, but I felt that ultimately I really appreciated dabbling in a variety of different medias. I really loved the materiality of photography. Moving from thinking about grain to pixels was something that I was very intrigued by, and that's what actually led me into painting, because I was thinking about almost a physical pixel rather than that of a digital one. Photography allowed me to play with chemicals and play with the accidents. And now I'm looking at painting in the same way and thinking about how those accidents are happy accidents, and I'm really giving a lot of room for the paint to do what it wants to do. I think my job is really just to listen to that material. I come from a very deeply working class family, and I've always worked with my hands. I've always been interested in labor. When I weave paint, I oftentimes do one strand at a time, and that process is very slow. It requires patience, and I really enjoy that process, and it's a reflection of the labor ultimately. In my process, I use pastry bags to squeeze paint out of, and oftentimes I'm mixing a variety of different colors within the pastry bags themselves, so I don't always know how that color and how that mixing will occur. Another part to that process is there are air bubbles inevitably in my process that at first when I was working I thought to myself, oh, that's a mistake, that looks so bad, but I was really hung up on it for a long time. I started embracing that. I thought there was something really special about the fact that air bubbles are inevitably inherent within the paint, and I thought when they expose themselves and they pop on the surface of the paint, that's where I became really interested in that happy accident. It's more than a texture as much as it is about creating a space for that paint to be sculptural. I'm consistently finding ways to manipulate it in a way that keeps me interested. My portfolio plays a really important part in my career because you never know who you talk to and who it might be interested in your work. So it's a great opportunity to really just show a snapshot of your work all at the same time to somebody. So a portfolio has always been something that is ever evolving. It's never necessarily always linear for me. I've always wanted to keep it up to date. I think it's about space. Social media and a website play really important roles, and a website for me is a really amazing space to let my work evolve and show how it evolves, and how the work within each exhibition and the series within each exhibition plays off the previous. Actually having different pages related and images related to those exhibition shots, exhibition images, and works themselves is something that works for me on my website. Weaving really gives me an opportunity to play with almost these two worlds. One that is not so much in art history, and at the same time that because I'm working with paint, they're ambiguous objects. They are paintings because they're made completely by paint, but its process is very much related to craft and this association to gender. There's quite a lot of baggage around it that I felt. Those two worlds and those two histories is something that I realized that sometimes I play in and out of.